Yeah, this is part two of so you want to be a truck driver, you want to get in the trucking industry, or rather, getting your CDLs. You know, getting your CDLs is a big consideration, a big change can bring a big change to you in your life. Um, Now, I don't know if you saw my first video of, the pros of being in the trucking industry. If not, I can recap. There's a lot of good things about the trucking industry. You will make a great amount of money to provide for yourself, your family. There's great benefits in it. You most companies provide great insurance. um I mean, if you like to travel, you can definitely use this as a thing to travel while making money. Paychecks paid weekly. Most companies pay between 1,000 to 2,500 plus a week. Like I said, it depends on how you run. um but I'm gonna just be honest. Getting your CDLs can be a blessing, but actually being a truck driver could sometimes be one of the worst things you could ever do in your life. And the reason when I say that is, of course, you will make money, but what is money if your health is not right? Your mental health, your physical health, your what is having a lot of money if you can't spend time with your family, with your loved one? You can't even spend time with yourself. You get a lot of alone time in that truck, don't get me wrong, but sometimes all that alone time feeling secluded is not good for your mental health for most people. You know, you will stress a lot in this business because I'm going to give you the rundown of why this industry is like one of the most stressful and dangerous industries you could ever be in. For one, okay, I'm gonna give you the rundown of, okay, as a truck driver, there's a DOT clock. There's a 60/70 rule and everything. You got to learn about that. But each day you could be on the clock for 14 hours of the day. Okay, 14 hours. You could be on the clock, but you can only drive 11 hours of that day. Within the first 8 hours, you have to take a 30-minute break. That was a rule that they started a few years ago. At first you can drive 10, 11 hours straight, but now because of safety reasons, you got to take a 30-minute break after the first 8 hours. Now, with that 11 hours, most companies over the road is just straight driving. No freight, no touch freight. Now, if you're a flatbed driver, yeah, you're gonna have to touch the freight. That's where the extra hours come in, where you just strap down the loads and everything, or put your cargo together, which that can be tiring, especially in the midst of the heat, the winter, ice and snow, whatever the case may be. There are many sacrifices you're gonna have to make. If you got kids, if you got family members that you're dear to and want to spend time with, there's gonna be plenty of events and things that you're gonna have to miss out on, straight up. You're gonna have to miss out on it, because if you're over the road driver, the dispatch may send you all the way to, I don't know, California, and you live in New York. Then you know you got an event coming up for your child that you tell your dispatch, such and such date, I gotta be home by this date. Okay, cool, we'll get you some loads going that way. All right, you start your week off, you go to California, then you come back. The dispatch is guiding you, got you going to, I don't know, Texas. All right, and then from Texas, you going all the way up to Chicago. You got to think about that. Okay, that's cool. That's Chicago back down to North Carolina. You can make all that runs within a week, and then you go towards North Carolina, but you hit Virginia, and you ran out of time. What that mean? Well, DOT says once you run out of time, you got to stop that truck. Because if you don't stop that truck, that's fine. That's violation. That can end up in $10,000 fine. You can lose your license. You can be put out of service. DOT is Department of Transportation. That's the police of the road. So that's the trucking industry police. You got your state police and city police and everything. City police, they make them write you a ticket, but most times the city police don't mess with you. State police, they can pull you over. With DOT, once they put you in violation, you going out of service. You feel me? So yeah. So that event that you were trying to make it to, you can't make it to it because you done ran out of time. Your dispatch didn't plan that out like you wanted him or her. Or it's not about you. They hired you to get them loads out. So you if you ran out of time, you just ran out of time. Because these dispatchers don't consider the fact that, I might run into traffic on multiple days. I might be sitting in traffic for 2-3 hours, so that's pushing me back. They don't care. They just want them loads to be delivered and picked up when they, promised the customer that it would. So that's stress, that's frustration, that's anger. Then you gotta explain to your significant others why you can't make it. You gotta explain to your child that you can't make it. You gotta explain to your mother, father, whoever, that you cannot make it to this special event. And don't let it be something where you were supposed to take your 36-hour break or rest during that event. Now you taking your 36-hour rest in Virginia, but you live in North Carolina. So it's some things you gotta consider for being a OTR, over the road truck driver. Your family time is going to dwindle as becoming a truck driver, over the road truck driver anyway. So now, if you're lucky enough to get a local position where you're home every night, that is cool. That sometimes that's perfect. But keep in mind, most local position as a truck driver, you're still going to be working 10 to 14 hours a day. Most companies will push that 14-hour clock. Some companies, you drive for a distance, but then you got to do some dock work. You got to do some physical work that builds up to that 14 hours each day, right? So that could put a lot of stress and strain on you as well. You know, this industry will build you up or tear you down in the worst way possible. I done seen people get into this industry and left as soon as before they can even really get started. You know, so it's definitely something that you're gonna have to consider. You're gonna have to have a strong mental ability, because all that time alone, being away from your family, that can add a lot of stress on you. You know, I done seen this industry ruin marriages, ruin childhoods. I just seen this industry ruin a lot of things. But your mental health is one that is really going to be affected if you really cannot handle it. Such as, I done had a few mental health issues in this industry. Stress. I've never had migraines a day in my life until I got into this industry. You know, diabetes is one. I've been a pre-diabetic, but you know, there's truck drivers that became full-blown diabetics. Blood pressure, it can raise your blood pressure a lot. Some people I know have been hospitalized. You know, and with your blood pressure, it can raise, because you got to realize you're in this machine that pulls up to 80,000 pounds, and if you're going 65, 70 miles per hour down the road, and somebody just cuts off in front of you and slams on brake, that machine becomes a deadly weapon now. You cannot stop on a dime. And most people don't think that. Most people want to play with you in the roadway and think that, you know, oh yeah, they're going to hit me, I'm going to get some money. You gotta watch out for them type of people too, because you know they can sue, they can in an incident like that can result in you losing your license. You know, even though it wasn't your fault. You know, I've been through that. I haven't lost my license, but I've been through that a few times where people, you know, will actually do things like that. Somebody cut me off, slammed on brakes, and I ran into the back of them. You know, they hooting, hollering, banging on my window and everything. But once they saw that I had a camera, or heard that I had a camera, which I really didn't have a camera in that truck, but he calmed on down. Oh, I'm sorry. Nah. So, yeah, that's a dangerous machine that you're operating. So you got to be mindful of that. 11 hours behind that road can be very, very tiresome. A lot of people don't fell asleep behind the wheel. So you have to have, I'm not going to say high energy, but you have to learn how to maintain your energy from dozing off behind that wheel or being distracted. You know. And oh yeah, going back to the dispatch. Dispatch don't care about you. They don't. No. They care about their job. They care about that load getting delivered or picked up. They don't care nothing about you. They will make it seem like they care, but they really don't. You got a doctor's visit to go to? They don't care. They do not care. You know, I know I've been a truck driver since 2013. I don't know if you realize, but some truck drivers have teeth that that they're not taking care of. So I mean, they have missing teeth or rotten teeth and everything because they've been a truck driver for 30 years and never been to the dentist because they all money driven. If you're out of work a day, you lose the money. That's the mentality of it. So they ain't who's gonna think if you're over the road, you're not gonna think of who can I call in this other state to book a dentist appointment or a hospital appointment or not. You're not. You're gonna do all that in your hometown, but most of the time you're not in your hometown. You're only in your hometown most of the time for 36 hours, and that starts from the time that you park that truck and log out of that DOT clock. That's when your 36 hours start. So you gotta go home, you gotta spend time with your family, you gotta eat, you gotta sleep. Before you know it, you back on the road again. So it's a lot of things you gotta think about. It's been a blessing and a curse for me because I done been in accidents which caused my family to have anxiety every time that I'm on the road. Because every time I leave this house to get in that truck, you never know if you're going to make it back home that day or not. You never know. Because anything can happen just like that at the blink of an eye. You have different cars, you have different truck drivers out there that you don't know what they're doing in their vehicles. So it's a thing of you got to be mindful of everything and everyone. You have to be on your P's and Q's at all time, and it's very, very stressful. So that's my spiel for the day. I'm gonna keep it coming. Like, subscribe, and I will be talking more about the trucking industry.